I've asked Kate McRae to come and join me on stage today. I'm trying to interview somebody from the church each and every week, and I'm going to have Kate pull up a stool here next to me, because some of you may not realize that Kate has been through a tremendous battle over the last few years, and I think it's pretty cool that we have a couple high school girls that have shared their story. First, Vivi on video, if you saw that earlier, talking about how that she lost one of the dearest things to her, which was her running ability, at least temporarily, and how that this has made her run to God. And I'm going to just talk to Kate for a little bit and just tell everyone what you went through over the last couple years.
Well, when I was 15, I was diagnosed with a rare type of ovarian cancer, and the Christmas of that year, I had a surgery, and they removed the mass along with my left ovary. And because it was so rare, none of my doctors here knew what to do with it, like to follow up with treatment. So they sent me out to MD Anderson in Texas, and they basically told us that there haven't been enough cases of this cancer to really know what helps best with it. So they basically just said we had to do MRIs every 3 months and blood work every month, and then just kind of look out from there because there's nothing left to do really. And because of that, I kind of fell into a very deep depression for the next 2 years really. And through that, I developed very bad anxiety, and it was just very hard.
Well, walk us back. I mean, 15 years old, playing sports, enjoying academics, enjoying your friends. The last thing that you were thinking at 15 is cancer, right?
Yes, sir. It really started the beginning of my sophomore year because, I lost a ton of weight, I lost a ton of hair, but no one really thought it would ever be cancer. So we went to a doctor, and he said it was stress really, which made sense because most kids at Grace play every sport and take honors classes and everything. And so he basically just told me to get out of sports and everything like that. And so I did, and nothing changed. It kind of just made me even more depressed because who wants to be at their house every day? And so we went to a couple more doctors, nothing. Tried a bunch of different medicines, nothing started to help. And then finally they did an MRI, and they found a mass on my left ovary.
And so what was that moment like for you when they used the word cancer, they told you had cancer?
Like anyone who gets that diagnosis, I was just terrified. I kind of got mad at God for a little bit because I thought, why me? At 15 years old, why would you do this to me? So I just really grew angry at him, and I kind of walked away from my faith for a long time after that.
Yeah, and I have a daughter that's your age in school with you, and she's told me that your faith has grown so much during this. Talk about that. When did that start to turn and change, and what caused that to take place?
After my sophomore year, after my surgery, I just kind of went back to normal because it was basketball season. So I kind of just was like, okay, I got all the cancer out of the way, so now I'm just going to go back to basketball, just try to have a normal life. And then school kind of stopped and everything slowed down, and I just really started to process, wow, I just had cancer at 15. And so I really just drifted from my faith for about a year. And then I got into some counseling, and that really just opened my eyes to see that that God did not use this to hurt me or in any way. He changed my life because of it, and he made me a much better person because of what he's done in my life, and I'm just thankful for it every day.
Speak to the fact when you say God made you a better person. I've seen some of this, but kind of what's God doing in your life through this? Some of the ways you're reaching out to other people and so on.
It really taught me to just love other people because through what I was going through, everyone in my life just loved me, and it just made the biggest difference in the world. So it gave me the mindset of if I'm not loving other people, I'm not really doing anything.
And then you started some sort of foundation?
Yes, sir. I started Color Me Kate last summer because God was just really speaking to my heart that, there are a ton of girls out there who are going through stuff every day, and they might not have anyone in their life like I did to get them through that, and to know that it's okay to feel that pain and to just embrace it and not let it own you. to really use it to change other people's lives.
So what would you say to someone on the day that they heard the news that they had cancer? What advice, now looking back and having a different perspective, what encouragement would you give them on that day?
I would just encourage them to remember that, like, through tough situations and just bad situations, God really does his best work, and that he uses those situations to change your life for the better, because everything he does works out for the good, even though in that situation that you're in right now, it's the hardest thing in the world to think about, like, that this is going to turn out well, but it really does, and you just have to have that faith to keep on going.
Well, thank you so much for coming and joining us today.
Yes,
and that really puts a face to what we talked about today, that when that moment of darkness, when that evil day comes, and it could be, it's probably going to be a series of evil days for us in our lives, that we look to Jesus, and we've already cultivated that relationship with Jesus ahead of time, and that way that initial shock is quick, and then we fall in the arms of Jesus, and we just trust him.